the third concept, we have Vinesh who will be presenting on the importance of choosing your network. Now I'll pass over to Vinesh.
Thanks, Rajna. Thanks, Preeta and Ebony, for your input. So first things first, networking is a two-way street. You know the chat over here works, right? I haven't heard a single note or awesome or well done or good info from anyone. So either you're really engrossed in the conversation or you're sleeping. Prove it. Use the chat box. Is the chat not working? Okay, before I get into my topic, I just wanted to share, Preeta and Ebony shared a lot of insightful topics on what networking is and how you have to go about it. My question for you is, do you know why you are networking? I mean, everyone says this session is about power of networking, but if you don't know why you have to network or you're doing because everyone is saying, hey, just network, that's not the point. You should know, like Preeta said, why you're doing it and who you are doing it with. So do you have an idea of why you're networking? A lot of people are commenting, so I'm just looking for some reasons as in why you are networking. Has everyone gone back to their sleep? No? Yeah, so David saying to increase opportunities, Nick says to meet people, Sarthak says to increase connections with our respective industry. So different reasons. So the reason you're networking could be to find a job. That's one reason. Second thing is to step up your career. Third thing is to just have fun, maybe. Fourth is if you are into a business, you're trying to reach out to more people and getting into that. So there could be different reasons, and the approaches can be different when you're doing when you're getting in touch with different people. So let me share my slide now. By the way, apologies for the huge difference in the formatting. This is my style. It's kind of boring compared to what the RMIT HR team does, but we'll have to go with this. So today I'll focus a bit on networking on LinkedIn, how to go about it and what are the different nuances. So this is the first task for you. If you can go to slido.com and enter the code as N347, it's a poll just to understand what you are doing. Or who do you network with? That's the first question. I just want to know, I just want to get a wavelength of who I'm dealing with here and what the audience is like. So please go to slido.com and enter N347. You will be able to poll over there.
Sorry, just jumping in quickly. Ebony, you have your hand up. Do you have anything you wanted to say, or was that just an accident?
I think that was an accident, sorry.
Okay, no worries, just making sure, thank you.
So you get the votes are coming in. We have about 10, 13 people. There are about 80 people today, so yeah, let's get on it. 24, good. We'll wait a couple of seconds till everyone gets a chance to vote and move on. By the way, don't move away from the page. There is one more poll, so it'll be good if you can stay on the page. Okay, so let's see what the data gives. So out of close to 50 votes, I think 47 votes, the top most is recruiters in your domain. So that's good. 27, which is almost equal to the topmost, says anyone. Which may or may not be good depending on what your intention is. Hiring managers, any recruiters, others. So I wanted to check who the others are in the chat, but I don't think chat is working very well. So if you'd like to put who the others are, go ahead and put it in the chat. But in general, I think recruiters in your domain is the popular choice and anyone is the second popular choice. So anyone doesn't really help, but that's all right too. So my next question to you, how do you network on LinkedIn? This is an open-ended question, so you can type in whatever you want. Rather than me giving you choices, LinkedIn suggestions, exploring, reaching out to industry using message section, find someone who has been through a journey, follow up, connect on LinkedIn, comment, react. Good, good. Search for people from similar backgrounds, following people working in the industry, commenting on recruiters, comment, browsing company profiles, finding senior managers in company, good. Write posts and research, excellent. Reaching out to peers, excellent. Professional groups, excellent. So blah. Okay, so we have a lot of ways to figure out how to network. Now, this is your version. Now let me share my version. What is it that you have to do? First step, I think Ebony and Preetha touched on this point. Decide who your target audience is. If you're looking for a job, recruiters and hiring managers, or anyone in your domain is your target audience. If you're looking for a career transition, anyone in the career you're planning to transition to is your target audience. If you're a graduate, similar graduates is also your target audience. So these are the people who you should target, right? Get that clear. Anyone doesn't help. Anyone is like saying hello to anyone down the street, which you can't, by the way, if you're in Melbourne today, but that is what anyone means. It doesn't really help, or it has no direction. Of course, if you want to go ahead, it's just like Facebook, or if you want to treat LinkedIn just like Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, go ahead and do that, but that doesn't really add value to you. Have a strategy on how to reach them out. Add credibility to your profile to get noticed. Say, for example, if you just wave at me, there should be some reason for me to wave back at you, right? You should be credible. If it's on LinkedIn, it's your LinkedIn profile, it's your activity, it's your digital footprint that explains that, hey, this person is worth spending my time. So, and I repeat forever. I'll get to that later on. So let me touch on each of these points a bit more. Who is your target? So this example is if you're looking for a career change or if you're looking for a job, right? Don't blindly go and connect to hundreds and thousands of people. There might be a point in that, but it doesn't have a strategy. It's like just blowing whatever. I mean, it's not a perfect strategy at all. First, start. List down 10 companies that you'd like to work. Find 10 people in each of them. That's really easy. Build a connection with them. Now, you're not sending them spam messages saying, hey, I'd like to have a job in your company. Can you, I'll share my resume. Can you refer me? No, that's not the intention. Your intention is to build a connection with them. Tomorrow, if they say, hey, Vinesh, I'll say, hey, whatever your name is back. I won't say, hey, X or Y or Z. I should know who you are. Everyone should, at least 10 people should know who you are, and you should be able to go for a coffee catch up or a virtual catch up, which is what happens these days with these 10 people, right? That is your target. Now, what happens out of this? One, you get insider information from companies. Remember, I don't know the statistics behind this, but people say that only 60 to 70% of the jobs in Australia are not advertised. How do you get into them? There's a huge hidden job market. How do you get into them? Only by talking to people. That's one. Second, you get a clear picture of what is it that you want to be. Today, probably you thought your business analyst is a role for you. But when you talk to people, you realize probably business analyst is not a thing. Maybe your interest lies in project management. But unless you talk to people, you won't get that, right? Third thing is you will get to know what you can upskill on. Is there some tools that you can upskill on? Is there some software that you can upskill on? Is there some technology that you can upskill on? Again, of course, Google is your friend. You can Google and find everything for you. But trust me, if you have a headache and if you Google it, Google will probably say you're going to die tomorrow. That's not what you want, right? So you should find out these from real people out there. That's where it becomes more effective. That is who is your target. Now, how to reach out? They're different. They're probably gazillion ways to reach out, but I'm just listing out a few things that happen over here. Cold messages. This is when you have absolutely no idea who you're writing to, but you just send, hey, I really like your profile. I would like to have a conversation with you. Would you like to be open to a coffee catch up or a 5-minute or 50-minute, like Preetha mentioned, would you like to be connect, have a conversation? That's cold messages. But the tricky thing with cold messages is the conversion rate is very low. You might send 100 such cold messages or emails and get responses from less than 10 people. Be ready for that. That's okay, right? Common connections is the next best thing, right? For example, if you're buying a phone and this is a Xiaomi phone, I don't know if you have ever heard about this brand, but if you want to buy this phone, your friend has to suggest, your friend has to say, hey, this is a really good phone. Only then you'll buy it. You won't buy it because it's putting fancy ads out there or something of that sort. You'd buy a Samsung or Apple that way, but you won't buy a brand which is less known in that way, right? So common connections is the best way. So for example, if Rajna says, hey, this my friend is really good at something, can you help him? I'll say, yeah, definitely, yes. Instead, if that friend just messages me, I need your help, I'm like, no, I have absolutely have no idea who you are. You're a random stranger to me, right? So use common connections. Meetups, webinars. This is probably the best way. You know, you have how many 80 plus connections today. You could actually make relationships out of this chat box. That's why I asked you to use the chat box. You know, you can make friendships out there. This is not how it used to happen in real life, but unfortunately now we have to rely on this. Same, Rajna, Ebony, Preeta. You have you can make 4 good connections. All 80 people, 80 of the participants can make 4 good connections. Just sending a message that, hey, I absolutely loved your contribution in this meetup. I would like to discuss something more about this. Are you open to a connection? Right? That's another thing. And finally, it's your LinkedIn activity. That is what most people message there in that poll. You know, commenting on posts, writing, LinkedIn, generating content is the most or this is the best way to do it, but it's hard. But the next best thing, you know, commenting, not comments like interested, agreed, awesome. That holds no value at all. Strike a conversation. It should be a conversation triggering kind of comment. It's not about interested, awesome, thank you, congrats. It adds no value at all. Instead, you know, have some genuine conversations. Now, again, if you're sending me a cold message, you should have the credibility, or I should you should earn my trust, or I look at your profile and say, hey, this guy is good, let me talk to him, right? And that's where you have to have a complete and good LinkedIn profile. Now, I always like saying a coach, her name is Adele. She mentioned that if you are not if you don't have a complete LinkedIn profile, it's like you're not properly dressed for an interview. So it's like, you know, if you don't have a headline or if you have some section missing, it's like you're not wearing a shirt for an interview. And mind you, your LinkedIn profile is being interviewed 24/7. Right now, someone is checking your LinkedIn profile and you're being judged based on that. So if you're not wearing a shirt, they're seeing it like that, right? Why take that risk, right? You should have that credibility. There's no excuse for having a good LinkedIn profile. Content generation is another way. I briefly touched on it. It's about making posts, having quality posts and engaging with people. Relevant LinkedIn activity, very important. If you post for, or if you even like or comment on cat and dog pictures, for me, this is a personal choice, I'll immediately unfollow you, because that's not something that I want to see on my feed. I'm not saying everyone, but personally, I don't want to see that. Different language, politics, all those stuff, your digital footprint is important. Remember, recruiters are stalking you, probably even on Facebook or Instagram. Even if they say that they don't do it, sometimes they look in different profiles. So you need to manage your digital footprint. And finally, build your brand. Have a clear picture of who you are, what is it that you want, so that when they reach out to you, they don't have confused message. You're not a software developer and a software tester. You're just a software developer, and this is what you want to work. Have that consistent brand, and that's what will work. Final slide. I mentioned the repeat forever thing. Networking is a slow burn. It's not like you go for a meetup today and tomorrow some magic is going to happen and you're going to get out of it. You probably have to invest a lot of time in building relationships and getting something out of it. And I always say, you know, I met three, Ebony, Preeta, Rajna, Navina, and Maria today. You know, any of these people can be CEOs of some company in 5 or 10 years down the lane. And if I need some help, I can just walk down to them, because that's how things work. Even I'll give you a live example. Maria, I mean, I met Maria, I think probably a year back, just over a coffee catch up. And she came to me for help on how things work over here, job search and stuff like that. But now, because I talked to her then, she invited me to this event. I have an opportunity to talk to you guys, right? So that's how things work. It's always a two-way street. It's not like you take, and just let him to die. That's not the way it works. It always reciprocates. So it takes time. The best time to start it was yesterday. The next best time is today. So get on it. But if you're job searching, you always think, it's time consuming. I have to spend a lot of time. It's not worth it. Probably if I spend all that time applying online, I might get a better result. Think it of like this. You spend 20 hours last week applying online. After 2 weeks, you hear nothing back from them, which is kind of a norm, right? Unfortunately, it's a norm. What happens to those 20 hours? It's down the drain. You're getting absolutely nothing out of it. Instead, what if you had spent 5 hours or 10 hours on networking? That has a compounding effect, and you will get back something out of it eventually, right? So that's how you have to think. You have to have a balance between applying online and networking. So that's briefly about me. Back to you, Rachna.
Thank you, Vinesh. That was really good. I really enjoyed the part where you spoke about defining your target. I feel that's an important part of networking. Gives you a bit of purpose. But we were just wondering if any of the other panelists or special guests had anything to add before we move on to the final concept.
I think I totally agree with Vinesh on the two-way street. I think I touched on with mentoring how the journey is for both people, and I think it's wholly applicable to networking as well.